What's up, guys? I'm Alejandro, but you know me as A.Chal. My earliest experience with music was my dad would play a lot of like typical Latin music like merengue, salsa, but he also played a lot of indigenous music from Peru. So like tribal-esque sort of music. And then he also played a lot of like 70s rock. So he would have, like he would come from work and just play Woodstock 1969. It's like a documentary. And he would always play the Carlos Santana and Jimi Hendrix part. And then, so I would just grow up seeing that, not really understanding what that meant. And then when I went to school, everybody was listening to like New York rap. So like Mace, DMX, Wu-Tang, stuff like that. So it was kind of like, it was confusing because I wasn't born in the United States, I was born in Peru. So when I got there, I had like a clean slate. I didn't know what to make of what or how to stereotype or know where it came from. I was just kind of like absorbing it all in. And I think anything that made me feel some kind of way, I would gravitate to. Past Chick is about someone I was going out with for like 6 months. And right when I broke up, I made like 3 songs. This was the nicest one, so this is the one I put out. The girl at the end is not her, but it's someone else I was with, because I didn't want to give her all the credit. Advice I would give to aspiring up-and-coming artists in the music industry or trying to get in the music industry. One, it's music business, so like you have to be aware that anything that has to do with business and selling something, it's not really about the craft or anything, it's more so about the numbers. And that's just how business is. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to be part of it, you have to accept that. As far as staying true to your craft, that's up to you. You can probably do things to gain more attention or gain more followers, but if it's not true to you, eventually people will know that and see that, and that'll just be what you are. But I try to stay true to what I do. Sometimes it's the long way instead of the faster way. Everyone has their own road. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Just stay true to you, what's working for you. Try to be humble and don't be too greedy. And like I said, don't take the business shit too personal. It's just business. Right after senior year of high school, like I didn't even finish that year. I went to New York and just said, I'm not going to college, I'm just gonna pursue music. All the money I've made, I haven't really touched. I've put it back into what I do. All the tours that we've done, all my team, from PR, social media stuff, to content providers, to touring stuff. Like, we've all taken roles and put money in there to make it work, because we don't depend on a label. So, that process has made me like mature very fast and see things in a different way. I understand where like the music business side is coming, because it's not always just about the artist having fun and doing what he wants to do. Sometimes you gotta, put the numbers up. I wanted to do music for the rest of my life. I knew that like all the labels were in New York. I was living in New York before, so I just went back, and I was like, I'm just gonna be in front of labels, working with artists, whatever it took. And then from there, that took me to LA. I don't think labels are bad. I think it's all about what you want to accomplish. Like, labels are pretty much, in my perspective, a bank of money and a bank of resources. So it depends what resources you need for what. If you want to be a global star as an independent artist, you're probably gonna hit a ceiling, but a label could provide those resources for you, so it might be worth doing something with them. It depends on your trajectory, what you want to do. If you want to just be like the biggest artist within your genre space in your region, you might not need a label if you're cool with that. Like I said, everyone's different. I believe more in function, not fashion. So like everything I like personally, I don't like doing too much. I like movies a lot, so movies inspire my style a lot more than like artists do, like that I see on music videos or shit like that. But my style comes from my history. Like right now, I'm wearing like pins from Peru that my mom sent to me. I've worn denim shirts probably my whole life since I was like 4 years old. I've been wearing denim shirts. I have a Mary on my neck because it reminds me of my grandmother. So like, I don't know. It's like it's all part of me. I've always dressed like this. People have known me like, yeah, he's still dressing the same. And when the money get longer, you know, it gets a little better, but it's still fairly the same. Just try to dress classic, like a gentleman, you know, caballero. Anything with Antonio Banderas, anything with Johnny Depp, anything with like the Ryan Gosling movies. I like hood movies too, like Paid in Full is one of my favorite movies. Blow is one of my favorite movies. Scarface, stuff like that. I like how they dress. I think that's fresh. If you're gonna go for a girl, you gotta be realistic with yourself. Like what kind of girl you're going for. If you're going for a girl who deals with a lot of things, she don't wanna make a lot of decisions, you gotta just make things easy for her, you know? If you're dealing with a girl who doesn't see that much, then it's a different approach. You have to just know what kind of girl you're approaching. I think that's the first setup. 2, you have to be confident, sure in yourself. You can't feel like you're lacking something because she's gonna feel that off top. Just always be polite. I don't think girls like dudes who are like too into themselves, you know? And if they do, then I don't know if that's the kind of girl you wanna be with, you know? And good cologne, always. Good cologne is important, stay clean. They're always gonna look at your shoes. So if you have bad shoes, it's already a bad start. Know how to order in restaurants. It's a big key as well. And open the door. I'll definitely like give you some points. Just be a gentleman, I think is cool. Best restaurant I've been to. Honestly, I don't ever remember because it's really about like, that's the thing, if you're doing your thing, like you're not even gonna remember the food like that. You're gonna really be so engaged in the convo. I've taken girls to like museums and like did a picnic, you know, on the field. My cheat code is I'll take a girl to a Peruvian restaurant because I know exactly what to get and I'll start talking to them in Peruvian and Spanish. And that's just my cheat code. I take them to a Peruvian restaurant, get them ceviche because it's not too heavy, so they're still gonna feel sexy afterwards. And some sangria because it's not too hard, and it's cool. It works. I hate when dudes take girls out to eat and they get heavy ass food because that's not gonna keep the vibe sexy. Always think light. So think sashimi, ceviche, French food. Keep it light, because they wanna feel tight in that dress. They're gonna get heavy. I'm giving too many gems away right now. One time I did a song for Jennifer Lopez it's like 2 years ago, and I produced it and co-wrote it with someone, but I got notes from Max Martin, who's like one of the biggest producers, probably the biggest pop producer of all time, and like, he wrote notes down on what was wrong with the initial version of that song. And like, that's been one of the most impactful notes I've ever gotten because it was like so dead on, you know? It's like, they call it Swedish math. It's like pop math. It's how you make hit songs. And then I've also had friends who are like, I guess rappers, who like, just how they approach writing is so honest, and at the moment, when they go in the booth, that's also inspired me. It's a science to it, but when you do it so much, like me, it's like it's second nature when you go in the booth. Type. I've been doing this for a minute. Like I'm in the studio every day. Like after this, I'm going to the studio. Last night I was in the studio, so it's like all I do. People call me. Like I don't really like. I don't like. I still like honestly. I still feel like I don't really feel like I broke through yet. Like I still feel very much like an underdog. I'm very appreciative of the things that have happened, but at the same time, I really don't feel at all like I've scratched the surface. Maybe like a tad bit, but I don't feel like I really scratched the surface yet. Because there's so much that I've been working on, especially the last 2 years, that music, content, agendas that haven't come to fruition. So for me, like, I'm waiting for that moment. But when my mom calls me and says, like, I just saw you on Spanish TV, shout out to my Latin PR, Loren. But when she's like, yo, I just saw you on the Spanish news and you're giving an interview talking about taking shrooms at the strip club, you know, it is a feeling. That's cool. That was cool. Well, maybe when people talk too much, that's kind of annoying sometimes, especially when they ain't saying shit. That's a pet peeve. I usually just walk away or I put music on. What else is a pet peeve? I don't like people who look down on people, like for things they can't control, who talk shit about people. That really bugs me. I'll probably say something to them about that. But other than that, like, I'm a pretty understanding person. I've been through a lot of walks in life. Like, I've seen a lot of things in my life. So, only things that really bother me are just, like I said, people who talk down on people and people who are just talking shit all the time. Like, before I meet my maker, what's the thing I want to achieve? I think I achieved it for the most part. I could die happy right now. Like, and that's to, I think we're all here on earth to help each other, love each other. So I can only do that with my examples and my immediate, like my team, for example, you know, they're all family, like blood, or I've known them since I was a kid. Even like doing what I'm doing with them and, you know, sharing my success and my opportunities with them, and then seeing them fruition on their own way, like that's what my agenda is. And I try to, you know, just grow that. So now, like, I may know you, and then, you know, next year I may be in another place and I may see you and be like, oh shit, like, you're trying to level up too, here, I could do this for you. Or anyone that I feel like is a genuine person, you know, just help those people who have agendas to just keep, I guess, the love or positivity alive. Because I really do think that's important. And especially like in the kind of environment that humanity is in right now. So definitely, that's my only agenda. The music shit's cool, you know, it helps with it. It's an easy way to, it's an easy vehicle to make that happen, but definitely. So I got French. Shout out to Jizzle, that's our mutual friend. I know, like, she had been FaceTiming me when they were out in the Bahamas, and he was listening to that and Vibe With You and a couple other of my songs. You know, it was only like a matter of time till we were both in LA, and he hit me, he's like, pull by the studio, he wants that song. And he did the song in front of me in like 15, 20 minutes. He killed it too. We was sipping, it was fun. He bodied it. Shout out French. Yeah. We also got some shit we're working on too. But he's a really good dude, very positive guy, very happy, always smiling. I'm trying to get like that.